Hi, it's Cheryl with Caribou Country Lifestyle. Today I'm planting some alyssum seeds, and I have three types of alyssum. My first one that I'm doing is an Easter bonnet mix, and I'm also planting royal carpet and then carpet of snow. These Easter bonnet mix, they have a pelleted coating on the seeds, and what that is it's just like a coating on the seeds. It helps so that you're able to handle the seeds better, so the coating actually makes the seeds a little bit more rounder, and because these are quite small seeds. And with the alyssum, I'm just putting the seeds on the top of the soil, and then I just pat them into the soil. I won't be covering the seeds with any extra soil. And that'll be the same for all of the alyssum that I'm planting. This bonnet mix, so that is a mix of, I think, 3 or 4 different colors. You have like a pink and a lavender, and I think you have 2 shades of purple, like a darker purple, and then the lavender and the pink. And they actually, this one, they are a scented variety as well. I only have a little bit of the carpet of snow, so I don't think I'll be doing very much of that. I didn't order any more seeds of the carpet of snow. And then for the royal carpet, it's kind of like a deeper purple with a white fringe on the flowers for that. I will also be planting my Portulaca today. I have 2 kinds of Portulaca. Okay, I planted all of my alyssum. I wasn't sure how much I was actually going to get, but I actually have more seeds than I thought I had. But I only want to do a flat of all 3 kinds of the alyssum. So now I just have to pat the seeds down into the dirt. Yeah, so these pelleted alyssum seeds, it was saying, when I did a search on it, it was saying that you should use the seeds up in that season, because the pelleted seeds, the pelleted coating on them is supposed to, like, I don't know, disintegrate, or it I'm not sure what happens to it. Anyways, decomposes, disintegrates, whatever the gardening term is for pelleted seeds. Anyways, it says to use up these pelleted seeds in your growing season. Well, I can't use up all those seeds. I don't need that much alyssum, so I'm gonna take a chance and see what happens, and I can check it out, and if they disintegrate, I guess they disintegrate, or whatever happens to the pelleted coating on it. I'll take my chance. So, but it's funny, I picked up a second tripod to put my camera on, because the last one, I broke the clip. When you extend the legs out, I broke the clip on it, so then I couldn't extend the legs out, so then I couldn't very well use that tripod anymore. So I picked up a new tripod, and I started using that one while I was doing a video outside. And when I came inside, instead of putting all the legs up and making sure that they weren't as long as they started out with, no, I just carried the whole thing with all the legs extended out. And I'm going into the room where I do the editing of the videos, and I get one of the legs caught in the door jamb where you're opening the door and there's a space in there. Of course, I get one of the legs caught in there. My hands are full and I don't know what to do, and I end up bending the bottom of the leg. I'm like, really? Seriously? That's why I can't have nice things, is because I beat them up too much. So I ended up breaking off the section where I bent it, and then I pulled the leg out fully, wrapped black tape around the bottom of it to make it like a foot, so it looks the same. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I don't want to go and buy another one because I just bought this one and it was like 30 bucks. So I'm not buying another one. I'm just going to make do. So now I have my tripod on a chair, and because now it doesn't extend out as long as it should. So I don't know. Okay, now I have my Alyssum planted and I put it under the lights, and now I am planting, what is it? Scabiosa. I always have to say that a few times because that's not a word I use all the time. Scabiosa. So I was going to plant that last Sunday. So what I usually do is every Sunday I figure out which seeds I'm starting, and that's the day that I always seem to start seeds, is on Sundays. So I just planted the Scabiosa, and now I'm going to be planting my Portulaca. I like the little Portulacas. They're so cute, the little buds on them. They look like almost like little tiny roses, and their leaves are so funny. I don't know, they're just long and thin, and they kind of remind me of the ice plant leaves, where they're kind of puffy a little bit, but they're long and slender for leaves on them. I don't know if you can. Anyways, if you can see that, then you see what I'm talking about. If you can't, I'm sorry. But yeah, these are pretty tiny seeds, kind of like the snapdragons and the petunias. So I am just grabbing a little fingerful and just drop them onto the top of the soil. And then I'm also going to be putting them on a heat mat. And I'm gonna, after I'm done planting these seeds, which I actually don't have that many that I'm planting this weekend, I'm going to take you on a little tour of my seedlings to show you how they're doing. Some are doing quite well since I planted them, some of the ones last weekend. Last Sunday I planted some stuff. I planted some of my herbs, and I noticed they're coming up. Some of them, not all of them, but some of the herbs are coming up, so that's exciting. So I have two kinds of Portulaca that I'm planting. This one here is called the double mixed colors, and the other one is called the sundial mixed colors. So basically a mix of colors is what I'm doing on these. And last year I started Portulaca seeds and they didn't do very well, so I'm hoping this year will be better. Okay, so I have the Scabiosa planted. I did the double mix Portulacas, and then I did the sundial mix Portulacas. This is, I just planted Nolana, and Nolana is kind of like a creeping flower along the ground, and it has blooms on it, kind of like little morning glory blooms on it, and they're blue with a white throat inside. I think that's what it was. Yeah. So they're good for kind of at the outer edge of a flower bed, or you could have them in a hanging basket and they will hang over the side. Just have them around the outer edge of the hanging basket. So now I am going to plant some of this Astilbe, and that was the one that I said I normally buy this plant, but I'm going to try and grow it from seed this year. If I can ever get into this little foil package. Okay, what do we got going on here? Well, I won't be planting very much. These are like a very small version of a lettuce seed. Long and thin and very small. So I won't be getting very many of these planted. So I will just plant what I have and see what happens. I think I tried to plant this last year from seed, and it actually didn't. I don't think it did very well. So I'm just using up these seeds. I only have one little cell that I can do 6 plants in it, and I guess we'll see what happens. So I want to pick something else because I have one more cell here, and I want to try and fill that in. So I'm going to try and pick something else that I could plant in that last little spot. I don't need a lot of it. It's Phalecia. I'll plant some of that. It's like says it's a California bluebell. And this is what that looks like. So that should be pretty. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, we'll plant some of that and see how that does. I just want to use up this last little cell, and I didn't have enough Astilbe seeds to fill it up. So yeah, let's plant some of that. Planting by the seat of my pants. That's what I'm doing. Anything goes. Huh. Okay, so there I have all of my seeds planted. So I'm just going to put these seeds away back into their pack. And then I will have to top some of these with a little bit of dirt. So I'm going to have to read up and see which ones again need to be covered and which ones do not. Okay, so I had to cover the Scabiosa, lightly cover the Portulaca, do not cover the Nolana, and then cover the Astilbe and cover the Phalecia. Gotta say that a few times. Phalecia. So perfect. I won't put this back because now that's an empty pack that I have. So I'm going to take this over and put that under the lights, and then we'll do a quick little tour. Okay, so on the top, on the left, that is my celery, and that's coming along. And here are some of my peppers, and they have started sprouting. And I started these peppers on March the 13th, and they started sprouting on the 23rd. So 10 days, and these are all my different peppers as well. They all seem to be doing well. These ones are on a heat mat. I ended up moving my eggplant here on the end onto the heat mat too, because it just doesn't seem to be sprouting at all. I might have to reseed those. Here we have my snapdragons, and I have been moving them around just because some of the seeds still are pretty puny underneath this plastic. This is the dianthus that I started last Sunday. If I could get this plastic up. So the dianthus all have sprouted, and the one in behind is the salvia, and that has not started to sprout yet. And over here in the back, that's all new snapdragons that are coming up as well in this tray. Down here in the front is my carnations, and I noticed my Chilean glory flower. So right there is a sprout, and there is a sprout. And this one is a vine. Actually, I have another sprout there and another sprout there. And this one is a vining variety, so I want to put them up on my cattle panels that I have out in my garden area to climb up that. Then we have my leeks, and then in behind is the chamomile. In this tray is, in the front is my echinacea, and that is the one that I had in darkness. So I have that out now, and that's under the lights, and that's doing well. This is the one that I just planted of the Scabiosa, Portulaca, and Nolana, Astilbe, and the Phalecia. Over here I have my pansies in the front. Behind that is the geraniums, and then in behind that is the verbena. It's coming along. Down on the bottom here, under this, I have this one in the front. This is the borage. Yes. And then I seen another little sprout in here, and this is my thyme. But I don't see anything else sprouting. I have one little sprout of thyme and then all of my borage has come up, except for this one. I planted 6 seeds, but I noticed that there's one that hasn't come up yet. So I'll put my cover back on here. Okay, and then this is another one that I just planted. That's all my Alyssum. And then this one here, this is petunias and lobelia. And here are petunias, and they're starting to come up. No lobelia. And then this is the petunias too. This is the double mix, and this is the Niagara mix. So single bloom flowers, double bloom flowers on that. So that's all I've done for this week. I only did 2 trays of flowers, no vegetables this week, but I think next weekend, oh, I might not be here next weekend. It all depends. But next weekend, I think it was going to, I have a lot more flowers that I'm going to be starting. I don't think I have any vegetables as of yet that I will be starting, just more flowers. That's okay. Anyways, thanks for joining me. Have a wonderful Sunday. It is March the 27th today. If you have, let me know what seeds that you are starting. And if you have any comments or questions, put them in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed, you might want to subscribe and throw a like in there too. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next weekend. Bye for now.